So Neith is in it. We're going to rotate over, see if there's anything we can do to help. Leave mid lane to be cleared by Alquang.
On my way.
Odin's coming as well.
Stay a while.
Oh, this is an absolutely nutty play. I remember this one. Neith backflips, gets the pick.
Excellent.
I'm keeping the Odin down. Neith is able to Sanctuary. The Nuwa ult, we put a shell onto Neith. Neith is able to get a pick onto Sylvanas. We're going to stand in front and try to tank as much as possible. We're going to use our cripple to reduce their power. We're going to use D2 to get the slow. Neith is still keeping high pressure. We're going to get the stun onto Scylla. She uses her beads. We're still boxing for Neith. We're going to get the slow. We're going to get the 2. And Neith is able to get the pick.
Excellent.
What a beautiful play. Neith and I cleaned up 4 people in that lane. Absolutely beautiful.
The praise of others.
What do, Skibbity Boo? It's your boy Seanyb Gaming, and today we have a viewer request to play Artio as support. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together.
Good luck.
If you are a returning viewer, this game I made some 5 IQ plays and I made some 500 IQ plays. So some of it was extremely good and some of it was kind of what do you think? So let's go ahead and dive into Artio's kit. Artio is a stance switching guardian. That means that she has a druid form and a bear form. In her druid form, her 1 is going to be a little cone attack that's going to deal damage and then heal you and your allies based on the amount of gods that you hit. And then the bear form 1, Artio is going to swipe her claws in a cone twice, dealing damage.
The bear is best. False.
Artio's 2, in her druid form, is going to create a circle around her with her vines. This is going to cripple enemies, and what cripple does is it makes it to where they cannot dash away. So if they have a jump or a escape, they're going to be unable to use it while standing inside your cripple field. And the cripple field is also going to reduce the enemy's powers, and that can stack from 5% up to 25% based on the level of the ability. And then Artio's bear form, Artio is going to roar, it's going to stun all by allies, and then it's going to increase her physical and magical protections. Artio's 3 in the druid form is going to deal 5 ticks of damage over 2 seconds. Each tick is going to apply a 10% slow on the enemy, and if you hit all ticks, it's going to root the enemy. On Artio's 3, for her bear form, she is going to dash forward. Any enemies she goes through, she's going to slow. Artio's ultimate. Whenever Artio damages an enemy in either her druid or bear stance, she's going to gain a stack of movement speed and a stack of MP5. And then her passive, Decompose. Enemy gods who are hit by Artio begin to decompose. This effect decreases their magical and physical protection, so as you continue to damage enemies, their protections are going to get lower by 2% each time you damage them, stacking up to 8 times, and the duration is 4 seconds. So if you can constantly be bopping, you can reduce their protections quite a bit. So off to the gameplay. It's me and Neith versus a Sylvanas and Heimdall. Sylvanas has an AoE on his basic attack, so he's able to attack multiple minions. And then Heimdall has a cleave, so he's able to attack multiple minions with his basic. So they are kind of winning the lane pressure right now. We started with the Guardian's Blessing, and we went into the tier 1 boots and bought the health chalice. We went into boots because we need to be a little bit more mobile than the enemies right now. The tier 1 boots aren't going to provide us any stats other than movement speed. So we're just going to try to get that small amount of movement speed and get a jump start on our boots. We are looking pretty low on mana.
Out of mana. Retreat. What a pretty weave.
Unfortunately, they're just going to be able to get our purple buff. we are going to want to try to keep up the high pressure. So right here we're using our 3 on the wave, and we're going to try to max out our 3 as soon as possible. Level 1, put a point into our 3, level 2, point into our 1, level 3, another point into our 3, and then at level 4 we're going to put a point into our 2. But we're going to max out our 3 first because it allows us to dash through the enemy, slow them, get a lot of damage off, and then we can use our 3 to kind of peel for ourselves. If they're pushing us, we can slow and root them. If they are pushing away, we can slow and root them.
Be right back.
Enemy missing.
We're going to go ahead and back because we are low on mana and we have enough money for boots. So for Artio, I'm going to be going into the cooldown boots. I think the tank boots or the lifesteal boots are also viable options, but I just wanted to get some cooldown online. I want to be able to use my abilities quite often. If you can build Artio with low cooldown and a lot of protections and health, she's going to be very tanky and you're going to be able to get a lot of abilities off, and then just the base damage from the abilities is going to give the enemy team a hard time. So Heimdall teleports away. Good play by him.
Time to part your life force.
What a pretty weave.
So we just hit level 5, we put a point into our 5. Unfortunately, we don't really have an ultimate. We're just going to be gaining movement speed and MP5. So right here, we're just going to get in Heimdall's space. We get ulted in the space. We managed to avoid the tower. We're going to apply a slow and root onto Sylvanas, and then we're just going to continue to back it up. Neath is on the small harpy. And it looks like our purple is back up, so we're going to go ahead and take this. And then I think Neath is going to back, so we're just going to hang out in lane, try to hold wave for her.
Enemy missing!
Enemy missing middle.
So if Sylvanas wants to prevent Heimdall from getting XP, I'm okay with that. My goal is to make sure that Neath gets all of this XP.
I may want to return here.
Enemy missing right. Retreat middle lane.
Gank right lane.
A mighty sword!
Heimdall was able to teleport out. That's a Sylvanas ult. We have a lot of people here. We should be able to burn down the Sylvanas. We're going to throw down the cripple field, which doesn't do a whole lot to Sylvanas since he doesn't have a dash.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So unfortunately, Sylvanas healed up, but luckily Ao Kuang was able to finish him off even though he ulted him and didn't get the execution. So now their team is counter-rotating. We're going to want to kind of hang out, just make sure our important people stay alive. There's Hera, she ults, that's a huge ult. We dash straight into an Odin wall. Here comes the Heimdall. We eat the ult for Neath. She's able to escape.
Carry me, team!
Hera's able to get the pick onto Odin. We're gonna get the stun off, and Neath is able to get the kill.
Excellent.
So that gives us our second assist of the game. We are still pretty low on mana. Probably going to back right here.
Enemy missing left.
Enemy missing!
So we are going to be going into Gauntlet of Thebes next.
Right lane. Retreat. Right lane.
I don't know if I have ever given a super detailed reason on why Gauntlet of Thebes is so useful. So while we're going back to lane, let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit. Gauntlet of Thebes is going to give you, I believe it's 300 health when you buy the item, and then it's also going to allow you to start stacking protections. Each stack equals 1 protection, so at 20 stacks you have 20 magical and 20 physical protections. At 50 stacks, the item evolves, giving an aura, meaning any teammate that stands within a certain radius of you is going to also get 10 protections. So let's compare
Enemies in
this
the left
to the Mantle of
Enemy
Discord.
missing right.
Mantle of Discord provides
Enemy
60
missing
physical
right.
protections and 60 magical protections, 10% cooldown, and then it has a lovely passive, but it doesn't have any health. Gauntlet of Thebes has 300 health, and then it has 50 protections plus the additional 10 that you have for the aura. So then you're already at the 60 physical and magical protections. But with Gauntlet of Thebes, you're also getting the additional health. Plus, if you're grouped up with your team, that item can actually turn into 100 protections, magical and physical, across the team. So all around, it is just a great item. So we're kind of in the middle of it. We just got ulted. Hera is able to rotate over and clean up the double kill.
Why am I so good
Good
at the
game.
Enemies in the
game?
right
Attack
jungle.
fire giant. Attack the gold fury.
So the next play is to go for gold. We were able to wipe up duel. So their jungler and mid laner are still here. We're going to want to try to be mindful of them. We do have our cripple for the Odin. That will prevent him from jumping. But we are a little too weak right now. We're just going to back off. With them camping right there, we either needed to engage them or pull off of the Fury. We decided to pull off.
Enemies in the right jungle.
We're going to stay with Neath, and then
Enemy missing.
we'll probably rotate before we get our Gauntlet of Thebes online. But we're kind of hanging
Goodbye
out
now.
to make sure we get enough money for Gauntlet of Thebes. Triple field so Odin can't jump. And Neath is able to get
Enemies
away.
in the right jungle.
Goodbye now.
So we're actually just going to go mid on this rotation. Hopefully that'll bring Sylvanas mid and Neath can just farm in dual lane by herself.
Enemies in the left jungle. On my way. Gank.
Enemy missing right. Be careful, middle.
So we're going to look for an invade. There's
Enemy
two
missing.
people really far on right. It'd be a good time to gank.
Overload.
We're just going to settle with these small harpies in mid. Try to get Hera a little bit of XP over
Enemy
the
missing middle.
Scylla.
On my
We're going to
way.
make our rotation right.
That was foolish.
Hopefully we can set this Neath up.
Gank right lane. Ultimate is ready.
Heimdall has vision on me. We're going to dash through. I get knocked up. We're going to get a stun onto Sylvanas. Just get a little bit of bopping in case Neath wants to push up.
Enemy
That is a Hera ultimate. That is a Heimdall ultimate. We're going to stick to the Sylvanas. Neath is able to get the pick. Hera is sending
ally
her
has been slain.
ultimate onto the Heimdall. I charge in, get hit by a whole lot of things. That was a 5 IQ play. So that was one of those situations where it was not smart. I thought Hera was going to full commit, throw her Titan in there, or Argus in there, and then I'd kind of walk in, take a few shots, and she'd be with me, trying to follow up. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I run into tower, get hit by a new ult, and get knocked back by Heimdall. I'm in the back corner. I'm forced to use my shell, and I still go down.
That's too bad.
Your right tower is under attack.
So, we are going to move back right, try to hold the wave for Neath. We're actually going to hit the purple with Ao Kuang. And we're just going to group with Ao Kuang.
Enemy missing middle.
So, Hera's close enough that we're going to hold wave for her. She should be able to just come up and clean this up. And she says thank you. So she realizes what I'm doing for her.
Enemy missing middle.
Take this jungle.
We're going to try to get Hera as far ahead as possible.
Overload.
Enemy missing middle.
Enemy missing left.
We're just going to dash through some minions. It's just Sylvanas in mid. We do not know where their Scylla is. Get a little bit of poke off where we can. Here comes the Odin. That is a cage. So they are full going onto this Hera. she ults, we're going to get our 3 off. Unfortunately, she goes down. They just double ulted her and created some space and separation between me and her, so there was not a whole lot I could do. Unfortunately, cripple right after Odin jumps. We're going to use our 3, hopefully get a root. Unfortunately, we missed a tick, so it did not root. Nick is able to get the pick. Still gets a lot of damage onto us, so we're going to have to back up.
Bye now.
Mulan is rotating around the tower. Looks like she is second thinking that. Neith is also rotating mid, but we are forced to go back. So we didn't buy anything there. We definitely should have bought a tier 1 version of whatever item we plan to go into next. So we are grouped with Hera, just going to clean up mid. Looks like Scylla might be going for damage. We're going to kind of go and check, just see if we can get their timer. So they're able to secure their red. We're just going to fall back.
No problem at all. I will feel their presence.
Sylvanas is here. We're going to be able to get some free poke onto him. So we're just going to fall back, try to get some of this red XP with Hera. Unfortunately, I don't think we got any, but that's okay. We are support. It's okay if she gets all of it. So, why do supports go mid? The most farm on the map is around mid. You can hit the neutral side harpies. You can hit your own small side harpies. You can fall back and hit the harpies behind red. So, as a mage in mid, you have a lot of responsibility to try to secure these camps. The Guardian comes over and then helps the mid secure these camps, thus splitting all of the XP between the support and the mage, potentially the jungler as well. And since there's so many more camps, even though you're splitting, you're still able to keep pace and keep level, even potentially snowball. And if you're over in dual lane, there's not as many camps over there, and you're just kind of taking XP away from the hunter. So whereas if you go mid, you're kind of keeping them alive while they secure things. In dual, you're kind of just keeping them alive. So the whole team is pushing onto Neith. Sorry, I wasn't really commentating the gameplay right there. Kind of got onto a tangent, but we're going to jump back into the gameplay. Neith is pushing Heimdall on the right side. We're going to see if we can get any vision, see if we can set her up in any way. That's his vision. So he must be nearby in the jungle. We're not super concerned. We're going to kind of camp out his portal, just in case. Not much me and Sylvanas are really going to do to each other, so we're just going to hang.
Enemy missing middle. Be careful, right.
Doesn't look like he's coming, so we're going to go back. As soon as I move away, Sylvanas gets the pool. So we're going to move back to the minion wave and try to get Neith to get some of this XP. Looks like there's a fight going around gold, so I'm going to rotate over. I do have a shell.
Can you just AFK
Scylla was able to get our Hera. We're going to dash in. Try to help out the Ao Kuang by sticking onto the Scylla. If the Scylla is out of the fight, I feel pretty confident our team will be able to trade effectively.
Be careful. Retreat. Right lane.
So Neith is in it. We're going to rotate over, see if there's anything we can do to help. Leave mid lane to be cleared by Ao Kuang.
On my way.
Odin's coming as well.
Stay a while.
Oh, this is an absolutely nutty play. I remember this one. Neith backflips, gets the pick.
Excellent.
I'm keeping the Odin down. Neith is able to sanctuary the new wall ult. We put a shell onto Neith. Neith is able to get a pick onto Sylvanas. We're going to stand in front and try to tank as much as possible. We're going to use our cripple to reduce their power. We're going to use D2 to get the slow. Neith is still keeping high pressure. We're going to get the stun onto Scylla. She uses her beads. We're still boxing for Neith. We're going to get the slow. We're going to get the 2. And Neith is able to get the pick.
Excellent.
What a beautiful play. Neith and I cleaned up 4 people in that lane. Absolutely beautiful.
my way.
Fire giant.
Be right back.
Thanks.
Out of mana.
So we are going to back and we are going to go into
Crystal
Spirit
Covenant
Robe.
are killed.
The reason we're going into Spirit Robe is because they have a decent amount of CC. Nothing super crazy, but if I get caught by the Scylla
Your
root,
team has destroyed
I want a little bit of damage mitigation going on. Same kind of with the Sylvanas
Attack the
root,
Gold
the
Fury.
Heimdall ult, or
Be right
the
back.
Nuwa stun.
On my way.
So we're going to hit Gold Fury. Heimdall is nearby, but I think we're going to be able to take it. Nuwa uses ultimate, so not everybody knows where our team is on the map. Heimdall knows. Maybe he'll make a rotation. There he is. We're going to dash straight onto him. Go straight for him. Try to just keep him off. Ao Huang also makes the rotation over. Neith should be able to clean up the Gold Fury.
Be right back.
We're going to stick onto the Heimdall. We get the stun. We get a swipe.
An enemy.
There's the Scylla damage we're trying to avoid. We're going to use our cripple. That way we reduce their power.
Enemy missing middle.
We get the stun. We get a one-off. And we're going to back up because we are low on health and
Be
mana.
right back.
We should have been popping
Goodbye
our health
now.
and mana pots a little bit sooner.
An ally has left the game.
And there goes our Mulan.
Bamboozled.
So that's a little unfortunate.
Nice
We have
job.
access to our second relic. We are going to get... Taking a look at their team. And we got Sprint for the team. So we got two non-selfish relics. The idea is we're going to want to use the Sprint and the Shell on multiple people on our team. If we get locked down by CC and die, that's kind of just good for them. But if we can help our team stay alive and get out, then that's better for us. If I go down, it's not a huge deal. I just want to make sure that the Hera, Ao Huang, and Neith stay alive and farm as much as possible. So we are not even terribly under leveled. We are level 16. Their support is a 12. We're just gonna make a rotation over to the solo lane because Mulan is no longer here. So somebody's gonna have to clean up the minion wave. We're gonna rotate over and start cleaning this up. This is gonna provide us some solo lane farm. Luckily, Mulan returns, so we're going to maybe hold the wave one more time, although it looks like she's moving. So we're actually just gonna leave it to herself.
Enemy missing careful middle.
An ally has
Ao
been
Huang
slain.
goes down.
Enemy
We're
on
going to
enemy
try to make a
on.
rotation through this Hera. We do have our shell.
Middle lane.
We pop the shell. We also have a sprint. We pop the sprint. She's able to shield out. We gotta run around. The Hera's still involved in the play. We gotta try to focus this Odin if at all possible. She uses her shield perfectly. Unfortunately, Odin is able to get the Hera.
All is forgiven.
I'm pretty sure that Hera messaged me after the game about that shell usage right there. She was going to go down, but then we popped her with the shell and she was able to survive. It bought her just like 2 seconds for her third ability, her shield, to come up, and that extended her life even longer. Big fight going on right here, so we're going to stick to the Scylla if at all possible. It looks like she's running away. We're going to chase down just a little bit. We get rooted, so we're going to fall back to our team. Mulan is in it.
On my way.
We get stunned by Nuwa. I think Heimdall is the larger threat in the situation, although Scylla is also here and she is a huge threat.
An ally
So
has
she's
been
going
slain.
to get the kill onto our Mulan.
You serve me
We're going to
well.
dash out and I think we should be able to escape. Yep, they're
No
back
problem
mid,
at
so
all.
we should probably just back here. Our Hera's a level 19. So she'll be hitting level 20 pretty soon. I don't think she'll be too upset if we take some small harpies away from her.
Ultimate is ready. Gank right lane.
Tower has
So they were able to get the right tower. Heimdall was pretty far pushed up. We kind of missed that on the
I'm
minimap.
on it.
We're going to rotate over so he can't get another tower. Plus, we're also going to provide some protection to Hera whenever we rotate. So while she's cleaning up minions, I'm going to rotate around purple to make sure that they're not just hanging out in lane back there. Does not look like it, so we're just going to hit the purple buff because Neith is coming by. So they have two grouped up in the middle. We don't see anybody in the left. We're probably going to want to move back mid. Hera is a little far pushed up, so hopefully their whole team isn't collapsing on her. Because if they were, there was not much we would be able to do.
Be right back.
Two in mid. We have a pretty penny in our pocket, so we're going to go ahead and back. And then we're going to buy the Mantle of Discord. And then we're going to go into Pestilence. We're going into Pestilence because they have heals. Sylvanas has a heal that is probably warrants anti-heal just based off of the one ability on their team. Odin is building jungle, so he's probably not building to sustain or lifesteal. Nuwa might have some lifesteal. Scylla might, and Heimdall probably does. So all around, I think... Oh, we didn't even get Pestilence. I don't know what I am talking about. I remember what happens. So I should have bought Pestilence in this spot, but instead I think I'm getting greedy and I'm going into Soul Reaver. I'm feeling confident about the amount of protections I have. I have 60 from Gauntlet, 60 from Mantle of Discord, and then another 40 from Spirit Robe. So we're sitting at about 160 protections of each. That's plenty, so I thought let's stack some damage. We are going to adjust that later on, but for right now, we are going to be going into Soul Reaver.
What are you even doing?
I think I just body blocked that Mulan. I feel terrible. Super aggressive. We should not have dashed up right there. We're going to pop the sprint and the shell. Everyone needs to disengage here. We get rooted by Sylvanas, and I think he's going to be able to kill us. We're trying to get a heal off. We have our cripple off. We're going to get our one off. We got a stun off, and we're going to dash through. Somehow we're still alive. We got a little bit of health regen each time we dealt damage with an ability right there. Sylvanas is still chasing us, and Hera is able to clean up both of them. As I was a worm wiggling out in the water, Hera was able to pull in the fish.
Be right back.
So we don't have enough money for Soul Reaver, and we leave Fountain right as Nuwa ults. If only she ulted 2 seconds earlier, we could have just healed back up in the Fountain. So our right tower is getting pushed by an enhanced wave. I forget if they got the Primal or the Ani, but it's from the Gold Fury.
We need war.
I'll attack left lane.
Your left tower.
Defend right lane. I'm on it. Alas.
So we're going to go ahead and pick up purple because it doesn't look like Neith was heading this way. And we could benefit from the protection reduction that the debuff we place on the enemy is protection reduction with the purple buff if they stand close enough to us. And we're going to be getting in people's face, so hopefully we'll be reducing the protections of the enemy through the whole team.
Farewell. Retreat.
We have enough money for Soul Reaver, so we're going to go ahead and back.
My power is unstoppable.
And right here, the theory behind it is like I'm tanky enough, I need to do a little bit of damage. Soul Reaver guarantees that I'm doing a percentage of their health as damage. This should be my go-to damage item. That was the thought process, and we're going to kind of reflect back on that in a few minutes.
Stay a while.
Getting our 2 off, we got ulted by Heimdall. That is no problem for us. We're going to dash, get a stun off, get our swipe off. Somebody pops the Phantom, so we're able to walk out of Odin's shell. We're going to try to get the root onto Odin so he can't jump in on our team. Ao Kuang is able to get the execution onto Sylvanas. Mulan pulls Odin back in. Odin jumps over the wall. We're going to dash. Ao Kuang sticks onto the Odin and is able to get the double. Next we're going to march up mid.
A mighty sword!
They have 2 people
Attack
left.
middle lane.
On my way.
Mulan blinks in, gets the pull onto Scylla. Scylla dashes out. I think we're going to be able to get the Phoenix here. Unfortunately, Ao Kuang is the one who gets targeted, and then Mulan also gets targeted. We're going to stay onto the Scylla, try to get the Phoenix to proxy onto us.
On my way.
We get stunned. We're looking like we're in a bad position. We're going to dash out, and I'm not going to be able to get this Phoenix. We just popped the sprint and the shell.
These hands.
We should not have burned both of our relics right there, and that is super unfortunate that we were not able to get that Phoenix.
Your left tower.
That's too bad.
Yes.
Time for some.
So Hera is pretty far pushed up. We aren't going to want to sell our Guardian's Blessing until we have enough money for another item. The reason is because Guardian's Blessing increases our gold per minute rate. So if we were to sell it and buy a tier 1 or a tier 2 version of an item, we're going to be losing out on the amount of gold we actually gain. And it looks like we are going to upgrade the Magic Shell. The Magic Shell upgraded makes it to where it's going to absorb 3 auto attacks. So it looks like they are on Fire Giant,
Just what I needed.
or at least Pyromancer.
Defend the fire giant. On my way.
Carry me, T.
Hera is able to get a pick.
Unleash the beast.
We're going to rotate up mid. We're going to dash in onto the Sylvanas. Our whole team's here, so if we can get some stuns and some roots going, we're going to be able to really help the team out. We're trying to stick on Scylla. I think she's the largest threat on the enemy team. By getting her out of the fight, hopefully our team will be able to clean up the other enemies. We're going to dash through 3 people, get a stun off, use our 1. They're making the call to go for Fire Giant.
So good at the game.
Ao Kuang goes down to a Scylla ultimate. So right here we're too split. We can't really attack mid and we can't really attack Fire Giant. We need to do one or the other, but splitting up like this is hurting our ability to team fight. Looks like they're going for Fire Giant while we distract.
They are
Farewell.
getting
And Hera is able to get the pick onto
Excellent.
Scylla.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Hopefully
very
Mulan and
good.
Neith are able to clean up Fire Giant.
Be right back.
Defend the Gold Fury. Oh yeah.
We get the pick onto Fire Giant. So they are alerted that we got Fire Giant, which makes me believe that they would
Stepping
maybe
away
go
for a
straight for
moment.
gold. So we're going to want to try to position
that.
ourselves around that side of the map.
Completed.
And they got the Primal Fury. So there's the first instance of we go for Fire Giant and then they go for gold. It's going to be important
I will
for
feel
later
presence.
and how this game ends.
Be right back.
So we're just going to hit these mid harpies with Hera.
Group up.
We need
Attack
to
left
group
lane.
up. Me and Hera are a little split, but I'm feeling pretty confident
this
in her
jungle
skills. And I'm also feeling pretty confident in my own skills as Artio right now.
You're welcome.
We did have
Ultimate is ready.
two preventable deaths, but that is okay.
Enemy missing.
I think so far we're having a pretty stellar game. We've got Neith here, so we should be able to take down this structure.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
Attack.
So the enemy team is hiding on their defensive line. They are able to just sit back and kind of wait for us to commit and make a mistake, like I almost did right there. So there's 4 over here, and they actually have a pretty successful team defensive composition.
Enemy missing left.
They are able to defend for a while. We're going to see if we can rotate over and help this Hera out. Unfortunately, she goes down, but she was able to trade out with the Heimdall.
That was all is
We're
forgiven.
going to apply the cripple to Odin so he can't jump. Get the stun off, get a little bit of damage off, and then we got to step out of the Phoenix just because we're taking too much damage. So Mulan is caught between Phoenixes. Scylla's hiding around the corner. We are a little weak. So right here I say attack, thinking that everyone is going to follow me in here. I pop my sprint. I'm going straight for the Scylla. I'd made up my mind before even looking at the situation that I was going to go for Scylla. If I'd looked at the situation, I would have realized that going for the Scylla was not the person to go for. So we are going to try to get our team out for our sins. Taking a lot of damage, but looks like we are able to get out.
I'm going for jungle buff.
So there's only 3 of us pushed up. We're gonna go for some camps, maybe the right tower, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get a Phoenix down here.
Right lane. I'm on it.
Three people here to do 18 damage onto the tower. Love it.
Your team has destroyed the right and strongest of the...
So we are not grouped up. We are very split. I do not feel comfortable pushing. Tell everyone to retreat. We're going to try to show and make sure that Mulan can get out. Looks like she is. Neitha's a little far pushed up. And it looks like the team's rotating. Hopefully she sees that and has the foresight to retreat. It looks like she does. So what we need to do
That was foolish.
is to back and go for a item.
Be right back.
Retreat.
Group up.
We need to group up as a team and kind of push as a team. We're just a little too split right now. So we're going to sell our Guardian's Blessing, and we are going to go into the Ethereal Staff. Ethereal Staff is going to give us 200 health, some magical power, and some crowd control reduction, which means if we got stunned for a second, we would only actually get stunned for 0.8 seconds. So all around, I'm pretty confident and pretty happy with this build, other than Soul Reaver. We haven't made the realization that we need to buy a different item in this game yet,
Attack.
but we will eventually come to that conclusion. So it looks like Fire Giant is almost up. They're kind of grouped up in mid. They might be able to contest if we were to start going for it.
Alas.
We really need the Neath here to be able to secure it in a reasonable time.
Hi.
Greetings. Watch your feet. Right true.
So we're going to start on the Fire Giant. Heimdall is over here in the left lane. And we are able to secure the Fire Giant. We're going to go for the Pyromancer next. And they went
Attack the gold
up
fury.
and they got the Gold Fury.
Attack Leslie.
So that
Attack
is the
Leslie.
second
Attack
instance where our team goes for Fire Giant and then they don't contest us. They go for Gold Fury instead as a counterplay,
With rice.
which, I mean, is a good thing. That's what you want to do. If you can't make it to Fire in time, go for Gold, because our whole team's over at Fire. We might be able to burn it down before we could rotate over. But that's the second time we've gone for Fire and they've gone for Gold at the same time. And then they all back and start playing defense while we have the Fire Giant buff on. Here's one of the dumbest plays of the game. Just running there like an idiot. And we go down. That was a 2 IQ play. We just, I don't know, we dove into Phoenix into 4 people without really telling our team we were going to do that, so nobody followed up as effectively as they could have, and we got CC'd and a lot of damage, and we should not have dove the Phoenix like that. So we're taking a look at some of their builds. They do have anti-heal. Nuwa does have lifesteal.
Can you just AFK under the tower?
Heimdall does have lifesteal. So I think the play is going to be to go for Pestilence. It was after looking at all of their builds where I realized it's not just Sylvanas with the heal. A couple of them have got some heals. Scylla and Nuwa are really the ones doing damage to me. I'm not too concerned about Odin or Heimdall. So I'd go with the magical version of anti-heal Pestilence. If I wanted to go the physical, I would be going Contagion. But the anti-heal is going to reduce the amount of healing that they can do. We're going to go to our middle Phoenix, see if we can protect this. Looks like they're going to be able to burn it, unfortunately. We almost have our dash. I think dashing into these people probably will not be the best idea right now, so we're going to actually hold off on it. And it looks like they're going to just settle with the middle Phoenix and start falling back. So that puts our team on a little bit of the defensive position. We're going to have to push mid up a couple waves before we can leave mid lane alone. Or else the minions will just push into our Titan.
Yes.
Neith says Scylla needs to go. Everyone is in agreement. Scylla is the one that needs to go. We've been trying all game to keep her out of the team fight. Maybe that's the right play, maybe it's not. Maybe I'll be more effective trying to heal with my backline instead of try to push their Scylla away, acting as a frontliner. So we do have our shell and our sprint. We're going to want to push this wave up. For whatever reason, I feel like they're still kind of just hanging out by their Phoenix line. Don't see them on the map anywhere. They don't really seem to be collectively pushing. So we're just going to throw a ward down and kind of fall back. We're going to go check their red. Not there. So maybe they hit their camps and then back, and we just caught them returning from Fountain. So Fire Giant is almost up. It's about 75% of the way from being able to respawn. Neith ults the Scylla. I'm going to use my cripple, so now she can't dash away. We're going to apply the root, and unfortunately she's able to dash out. But we were able to push out of the fight. She's probably going to have to return to Fountain right here. So our team should be able to push and maybe get a little bit of pressure. Unfortunately, Ao Kuang is back at Fountain, so this is probably not going to work out well.
Be careful.
Retreat.
Yeah, so I kind of realized that. I'm just saying retreat. Let's go for Fire Giant, everyone.
Defend the fire.
So as we go for Fire Giant, we need to realize or remember that last two times we went for Fire Giant, they went for Gold Fury, backed, and then sat on their Phoenix line. So, if they're not going to contest this Fire Giant, I think it is safe to assume that they are going to be going onto the Gold Fury. We see Nuwa by herself. We're going to try to get a little bit of poke onto her, a little bit of damage. Scylla is unfortunately in our doing a fight with our teammates, so we're going to try to fall back. She's the real issue here, so we're going to try to isolate her. We don't see her. So, the call is to go for Fire Giant here. And we don't see them. Nuwa is moving into the jungle towards Gold Fury. So right here, I make the call. Like, the team's going to get the Fire Giant without me. If I can make it over to Gold Fury and just stop one of their backs, telling the team, go left. I got Gold Fury. I'm going to try to stall them. They all need to go left. If I can just stall one or two backs, I can make it to where they're not going to be able to defend. Right there, stops their jungle and their support. So now we have 4 people pushing the left Phoenix while they only have 3 people back. We're going to try to stick onto the Odin. I think Sylvanas was able to back, but he's going that way. So now we're going to try to link up with our team. Tara's able to get a pick. We're just going to go through the Phoenix. We get vision onto the Scylla. We're going to lock her down, try to slow and root her. Switch over to the bear stance, stun her. Hit her with the 1, and then we're going to try to dash through. we are able to get the left side Phoenix. Our middle Phoenix is back up. It might go down to the fire minions, but they just have the Sylvanas and Odin, the two people that we stalled from the Cold Fury. That's the Deicide, and we are able to win off of the play of stalling 2 backs at Cold Fury. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you feel like you learned anything at all, please subscribe to the channel and check out some other videos. The stats for the game will be posted in just a second. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to catch you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.